Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? The online webinar is about to begin. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a good day. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you to the Environmental Research Online webinar. I am MOHAMAD Akbar bin Amir, your moderator today. Before the discussion begins, allow me to introduce the panelists first. So, our first panelist is the Minister of Energy, Green Technology and Water, Datuk Sri Fabian John. Then, we have the Chief Executive Officer of Tenaga Nasional Berhad, TNB, Datuk IR Lee Zikai. The third panelist is the Deputy Dean of Faculty of Engineering, University Technology Malaysia, UTM, Professor IR Muhammad ZAKWAN bin KHLIK at KHLIK. And our last panelist is the founder of Center for Environment, Technology and Development Malaysia, CETDM, Mr. Muhammad HANIF bin ISHAK. So our discussion topic today is really informative and interesting. It is all about the new breed of coal electric industry. So before we proceed with the questions to our panelists, I would like to give all of you a simple definition to this topic. A coal-fired power station or coal power plant is a thermal power station which burns coal to generate electricity. Coal-fired power stations generate over a third of the world electricity. Coal plays a vital role in electricity generation worldwide. Coal-fired power plants currently fuel 37% of global electricity, and figures are from the International Energy Agency, IEA, shows that coal will still generate 22% of the world of global electricity in 2040, retaining coal position as the single largest source of electricity worldwide. So let's get started with our first question to our first panel. Okay, I will first ask our Minister of Energy, Green Technology and Water, Datuk Sri Fabian John. So Datuk Sri, what do you think about the advantages of coal electric industry, especially in Malaysia?
Right. Thank you for our moderator today, Muhammad Akbar bin Amir. Good evening and pleasure to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fabian John. I am the Minister of Energy, Green Technology and Water. In today's topic of our webinar is the coal electric industry. So I'm here today would like to share to you the advantages of the coal power plant. So as for introduction, in today's advances in technology have allowed coal to improve living conditions with its current role meeting man's fuel needs. Coal has been used extensively in power generation where better technology is employed to ensure that there is a balance between ecology and economics in producing sustainable and affordable energy. I would like to point out 5 advantages of using a coal as our power plant. The first one is reliability. One of the greatest advantages of coal power plants boiler is reliability. Coal's ability to supply power during peak power demand, either as a base power or as of peak power, is greatly valued as a power plant fuel. It is with this fact that advanced pulverized coal power plants are designed to support the grid system in avoiding blackouts. Moving on to my next point is affordability. The energy produced from coal fire plants is cheaper and more affordable than any other energy sources. Since coal is abundant, it is cheap to produce power using this fuel. Moreover, it is not expensive to extract and mine from coal deposit. Consequently, its price remains low compared to other fuel and energy sources. The third advantage is abundance. There is approximately over 300 years of economic coal deposits still accessible with this great of amount of coal available for use. Coal-fired plants can be continuously fueled in many years to come. The next one is known technologies. The production and use of coal as fuel are well understood, and the technology required in producing is constantly advancing. Moreover, coal mining techniques are continuously enhanced to ensure that there is a constant supply of coal for the production of power and energy. And last but not least, the coal is also safety. Generally speaking, coal-fired plants are considered safer than nuclear power plants. A coal power plant's failure is certainly not likely to cause catastrophic events such as nuclear meltdown would. Additionally, the welfare and productivity of coal industry employees have greatly improved over the years. For instance, injuries, time loss, and fatalities have decreased significantly in the past years. So to sum up all the things that I've said, the coal-fired power plants is important for the power generation. The traditional fuel combustion technology will be improved with a better performance to deal with the contradiction between industry development and environmental. And that's all from me. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, Dato Seri Fabian John, for the explanation about the advantage of coal power plant. So, the advantage we know that it is in terms of reliability, affordability, abundance, non-technologies, and safety. So, back to the second questions. Uh, goes to Dato IR Lizikai, the CEO of TNB. One question for you, Dato. Do you think it is bad for Malaysia to develop coal electric industry? What is the cons of this industry? Thank you, Dato.
Okay, thank you for asking. So, hi guys, my name is Li Zekai, and you can call me Kai. So, as CEO, the emerging development of the coal electric industry have brought us many benefits, but also more disadvantages. First of all, as we all know, coal is not renewable. Coal burning power plant will use a lot of coal as raw materials in operation, but also cause mining damage. Coal mining not only destroys habitat and landscape, but also replaces human beings. In many countries where coal mining is active, many people are displaced by underground because lines can collapse at any time. Second, greenhouse gas emissions. It's undeniable that coal combustion will produce harmful byproducts. These byproducts cause a lot of pollution, leading to global warming. This leads to climate change. Coal electric industry will discharge harmful substances to the environment in the process of operation. These harmful substances not only cause acid rain, but also very harmful to humans. As CEO, I hope that with the development of the coal electric industry in the future, our technology should be improved to better handle contradiction between industrial development and environment. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato Sri Lee Zekai, for the cons of coal industry in Malaysia, because we all know that coal is a form of non-renewable energy generated. It also can cause a global warming, the emission of the greenhouse effect, and it can cause a pollution from the industry to the environment that can cause a lot of harm to our environment. So, for our next question, the third question I'm going to ask the Deputy Dean of Faculty of Engineering, University Technology Malaysia, UTM, Professor IR Muhammad Zakwan bin Khalid. So, Professor, what do you think about the challenges of implementing the coal electric industry in Malaysia?
Okay. First of all, thank you for the moderator for the question. Hi everyone, I'm Muhammad Zakwan, Deputy Dean of Faculty of Engineering, University Technology Malaysia. According to the question given, there are three main challenges of coal electric industry. One of the challenge of coal electric industry is the lack of green technology. The use of coal in electric industry, as everyone know, the effect to the environment. It can cause the air and water pollution. When coal is burned, it releases a number of airborne toxins and pollutants. More than half of the waste ends up in the ponds, lakes, landfills, and other sites where over time it can contaminate waterways and drinking water supplies. There is a way to overcome the problem by using the carbon capture storage or CCS. CCS involves the capture of carbon dioxide emissions from industrial processes such as steel and cement production or from the burning of fossil fuels in power generation. This carbon is transported from where it was produced via ship or in the pipeline or stored deep underground in geological formations. This technology has been used in another countries such as United States. However, this technology cannot be deployed everywhere due to limitation related to geology. There are some places that not have geologic ability to store large volumes of carbon dioxide. So the development of green technology are needed to solve the problems related to the effect of coal to the environment. The second challenge is there are still not much research and development or R&D on the use of coal in electricity. The research and development is important to make sure the use of coal electric in the use of coal in electric industry is safe and clean. However, the use of coal in electric industry are decreased because of the low natural gas prices, increasing number of low-cost renewable plants, and more stringent environment regulation. For example, the carbon emission from coal in the US electricity sector are more than 50% lower today than just a decade ago because of the declining economics of coal power plants. It is because of the lack of R&D on coal electric industry. There are still not much solution on how to solve the carbon emissions problem that can affect the environment and human health. The R&D on coal in electric industry should be continued to increase the use of coal electric industry. The third challenge is economic pressure on coal sector from low-cost natural gas and to a lesser through growing extent and renewables. The hydraulic fracturing boom has vastly increased the supply of natural gas, making it stably cheap and the new firm fuel of choice in power generation. A recent study found that low-cost natural gas prices was responsible for 85 to 90% of wholesale electricity price declines in some markets in US. Coal plants are generally built as large units to produce cheaper electricity. However, other technologies such as gas and renewables can be built in smaller size for cheaper and thus incur less capital risk and making them easier to finance. That is the challenge of electric industry in terms of economy. There are three main challenges of coal electric industry. Thank you.
Wow, that is great, Prof. Zakwan. Now, audience, we are all aware that the challenges of implementing the uh, coal electric industry, especially in Malaysia, is so challenging. We can see the challenge in terms of lack of green technology as there are still carbon capture storage or CCS, but there is a limitation to apply it. Then we have the lack of research and development (R&D). R&D is a term of science and technology research. The decrease of use of electric in industry, and then we have the limitation in term of economy since there are economy pressure in the coal electric industry. So for the last question, I would like to ask to our last panelist, Mr. Mohamad Hanif Ishak, about how to overcome and how we as our government want to cope with the challenges in implementing the coal electric industry in our country.
Okay. Assalamualaikum and good evening to ladies and gentlemen. Before I answer my question, I would like to thank Mr. Akbar for inviting me as a panel for online webinar today, which we want to talk about an issue that rarely discussed by the public. Okay, as like Prof. Zaf and Datuk Kai said that we have challenges in terms of green technology, financial, research and development on coal and carbon emission to the air. We need to overcome the challenges to give a new breath to the coal electric industry. So what we can do is the first and foremost is the research and development on coal needs to be carried out more because we need to find a way to reduce the rate of carbon dioxide released into the air when the coal is used to generate electricity. And as we can see in China, which is a coal producing country and a country that use coal electricity industry as the main electricity generator in their country, have managed to create an innovation called coal. Why is it called coal? Because the coal will undergo a coke process, which the coal will be heated in the absence of air or oxygen until all the volatile components are driven off. And I'm very sure that some of you will ask what is the difference between the regular coal and the coke coal. So as you can see in the screen that the difference is in terms of the composition of the coke coal. And as you can see, the coke coal has low content of ash, low content of volatile component, and low content of sulfur. And in addition, the cocoa has a high combustion temperature and a lower content of impurity that allows it to produce more electrical energy and less carbon dioxide emission will be released. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that some people will dispute the capability of research and development center in Malaysia. All I can say is I'm very confident and believe that one day the research and development center in Malaysia will create an innovation that related to coal because I believe that Malaysia has advanced technology to conduct the new research. So next is we need to always adhere to Malaysia carbon neutrality 2050 target. So before I discuss more about the second point, I know some of our webinar audience do not know what is Malaysia carbon neutrality 2050. So I will explain to you what is Malaysia carbon neutrality is an initiative to reduce the carbon dioxide emission by targeting a reduction by 30%. So why we need to adhere to Malaysia 2050 because according to the study from the National Hydraulic Research Institute of Malaysia, Nahrim, found that Malaysia has experienced an increase in temperature of 0.18 degrees Celsius per decade since 1951 and is estimated to increase by 2 degrees Celsius by 2041 to 2050 due to the weather uncertainties and the carbon dioxide emission. And this not meet the objective of the Paris Agreement, which seeks to withstand the global average temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius. So we can adhere to Malaysia carbon neutrality 2050 by expanding the use of green technology with the cooperation between the government and electric companies. And for information, due to the energy efficiency and dependence of fossil fuel has been identified as a factor contributing to the greenhouse gas emission. So, with the cooperation between the government and Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB in managing the coal electricity industry to reduce the carbon emission with the use of green technology, which we call as ultra supercritical, which is USC. And do you know that according to the former Minister of Energy, Green Technology and Water, Datuk Sri Maximus, that USC is the highest standard in terms of efficiency that allow more energy to be generated without compromising strict small emission standards as well as allowing plants to use coal at low rate of combustion. So the problem is we are lack of green technology because in Malaysia we only have 4UXC technology that located in Lumacera and Port Dickson. So I think we should expand the use of green technology in generating electricity and reduce the dependence of fossil fuels to generate more electricity in order to reduce the carbon dioxide emission. So some people will argue about the financial cost. Do we have enough money to build another green technology? Um, I think I can deny that if you want to build another green technology require a high cost. For example, like carbon capture and storage CCS technology that need 69 to 103 euro to build a CCS technology. So for the financial, I can comment more because it is the duty of the government to manage the green technology with the cooperation of the Naga National Berhad. So what I can conclude is if uh, I can conclude is actually we can cope with the challenges by carrying out more R&D on coal and adhere to the Malaysia carbon neutrality 2050 target. So I hope Malaysia can be one of the zero carbon country in the future. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Hanif from CETDM. So, we know the challenges to implement, and now we know how to overcome the challenges. Because we have the R&D, research and development, again, on coal, need to be carried out from time to time because we have a lot of institutions, especially in Malaysia, that have to carry out the R&D on in this sector. Then we have to adhere to Malaysia Carbon's neutrality 2050 target to expand the uses of green technology. So I would like to thank you very much for all of our panelists and audience for attending our online environmental research webinar. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for lending your ears. And now we are opening to the Q&A, question and answer section. You all can write the questions in the chat panel in the Facebook Live. So I'm waiting for some questions. Okay, so for the first question, we have from Yuva Priya R7, yeah? So Yuva Priya was asking, what are the impacts of coal to human health? So I would like to give this question to Mr. Muhammad Hanif from CETDM.
Okay, thank you for Yuval Priya for the question. And the question is, what is the impact of coal to human health? As we can see that when the coal is has been heated and be used as a electricity generator, will be cause of smoke or carbon dioxide. So the impact of the coal to the human health is it will some give some disadvantage or give impact to people who have a severe uh, respiratory respiratory um respiratory problems such as asthma, like lung and so on. So as I hope that answering the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Hanif. The impacts of coal to human health, as we can see in terms of it can cause problems and to the lungs. It can affect the lungs. So we have another question, the last question from Caltesius Edwin, yeah? Hello, I have a question. Since the challenge is continuing, coal electric industry in Malaysia are quite serious. Should we continue with the plan? If yes, care to tell us on how others can be educated with the coal electric industry. So for this question, I would like to ask Prof. Zakwan. So Prof, what is your opinion about this question?
Okay. For me, we really need a new because the coal can impact to the pollutions and human health. We can use another sources such as natural gas that can be that renewables. Uh,
Okay, thank you,
that's
Prof.
all.
Zakwan, for the explanation. Okay, I will pick up the last question from Hilmi. Okay, besides coal, is there any sources that can replace coal as the source? Anyone want to answer? Any panel? You are open to answer?
I want to answer this question. Okay, thank you to Mr. Hilmi for the question. Like, is there any sources that can replace coal as the source? Okay, for your information, we have many sources that we use as electricity generators, such as a fossil fuels, water, steam, and so on. So, if we want to use another sources like such as renewable sources like solar, water, it's okay. Like the generate the water and solar energy want to generate electricity is very low compared to the coal and the fossil fuel, because we see the fossil fuel and the coal give more disadvantage despite they generate more electricity. I hope that answer your question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muhammad Hanif, for the explanation. Now we are going to the end. So thank you, every audience. Thank you, all our panelists, our four panelists, for the idea and answering the question. Thank you very much. Till we meet again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.